strikes out at the plate. The rest of that inning, fans will receive half off domestic beers. Limit for 2.
72 degrees, a little chilly and a little windy at Kapco Park here in Mequon, Wisconsin. Welcome everybody, Zach Linfield with you. So glad to have everybody along as we get you ready for the series finale between the Madison Mallards and the Lakeshore Chinooks. 5 out of 72 games have been played, and the Mallards find themselves with the most errors in the Northwoods League, which has directly led to their 2 losses in the early going. Lakeshore's offense continues to impress, pushing them to a win in the series opener last night. The big lefty, Tommy Meyer, gets the ball for Donnie Scott and Madison against Colin Daly for the Chinooks. Still in the early going, the 3-2 Mallards now find themselves in 3rd in the Great Lakes West after Wausau's win over Green Bay last night and Madison's loss. With the Chinooks win over the Mallards, Lakeshore taps in at 4th in the division with a 1-game lead over Wisconsin Rapids and Fond du Lac. Let's get to our key of the game here tonight for a Mallards victory. The key for the Ducks here at Kapco Park is to eliminate the defensive miscues. The Mallards lineup is starting to come together offensively, and the runs will come behind good starting pitching. However, they need good defense behind what so far, as previously mentioned, has been a really good performance by the 5 starting pitchers so far, as Tommy Meyer marks the 6th in the first time through this rotation. However, a league-high 14 errors through 5 games is certainly what has cost the team their 2 losses so far. Let's meet our starting lineups tonight from Kapco Park. First for the Madison Mallards and Donnie Scott. Leading off and in left, Jack Tucker. Batting second and at third base, Keenan Taylor. Batting third, moving from left field to second base, Jackson Chatterton. Batting cleanup, the big man, DH Owen Jackson. Batting fifth and making his much-anticipated debut, center fielder Isaiah Jackson. In the 6th hole for the series finale, shortstop Mikey Kluska. Batting 7th and over at first base, Jake Goolsby. Batting 8th and doing the catching, Canyon Brown. Batting 9th and rounding out the order for Donnie Scott, right fielder Corbin Dickerson. Towing the rubber for the visitors will be the left-hander from Northern Illinois, Tommy Meyer. And here's how first-year manager Trevor Cho drew in his starting 9 for the Lakeshore Chinooks. Leading off at the hot corner, Tag Gollert. Batting second, moving from second to short, Nate Mizakowski. Batting third, the second baseman, Josh Overbeek. Batting fourth, left fielder, Daniel Pasella. Batting fifth and playing first, Cody Kelly. Batting sixth as the designated hitter, Andy Nelson. Batting seventh, the catcher, Logan Gregorio. Batting eighth and playing out and right, Luke Robleski. In the 9 hole for the Chinooks, center fielder Q Phillips. Well, the Chinooks defense has taken the field, and the Mallards get set to face off against the 20-year-old native of Cedarburg, Wisconsin, Colin Daly. 1 appearance so far this year, and that came back on Tuesday in Wisconsin Rapids, game number 2 of the season for the Chinooks. Tossed just 1 inning and loaded the bases with a hit and 2 walks, but was able to strike out the side to leave them loaded. The Chinooks scored 5 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning against the Mallards bullpen last night and held off a late Madison threat in the top of the 9th to win on their opening night. Madison at 3-2, Lakeshore at 2-3 for the 2nd game played between these two here this season. The Mallards have made a uniform change today. They're all aqua blues on the top and bottoms, but the caps changed from the aqua blue with the duck on the front to the cream hats with the Mallards M right there in the center. Lakeshore in their pinstriped black uniforms on top and the plain blacks on the bottom. Reads Lakeshore in white across the chest. Jack Tucker digs in. Colin Daly from the stretch. Kick, steals, first pitch of the afternoon. Fastball up and away, and we are underway from Kapco Park. 6:34 first pitch from here in Mequon. Jack Tucker waits on the 1-0. The pitch from Daly is in there for a called strike. The first slider we've seen today to make it 1-1. Daly from St. Thomas University. now in his second year here in Mequon. Pitched in 10 games a season ago. There's another slider that bends in for a called strike. Umpires today, Terry Kondich, the crew chief behind home plate. Justin Duplessis over at first, Jake Dunn, the umpire at third base. Good count for Daly against Tucker, and that's inside on a breaking ball. Tucker steps out of the box to make it 2-2. Daly works middle of the rubber. The right-hander comes set right at the belt. Tucker waits on 2-2. Tucker swings and misses. Breaking ball outside. It's pretty much fastball slider for Daly. And the first batter of the game, Jack Tucker, goes down on a swinging strikeout. Defensive alignment for Lakeshore. Left to right in the outfield, Pasella, Phillips, Robluski, Gollert, Mizikowski, Overbeek, and Kelly left to right across the infield, and Gregorio does the catching behind Daly. First pitch swinging, and Keenan Taylor fouls off a fastball to make it 0-1. That combination of Jack Tucker and Keenan Taylor in the first inning continues to find their way on base in the first. And the second pitch is a fastball up and in. That gets a piece of Taylor. Keenan will wait a moment before tossing the bat over towards the third base dugout. He'll take a moment to readjust some of his equipment and eventually find his way down to first base as the Mallards have their first base runner of the ball game. So here comes the left-handed swinging Jackson Chatterton. Short leadoff over at first for Taylor. Defense plays straight up on Chatterton. First pitch fastball lands low. Jack went 0 for 3 yesterday with the sacrifice fly, which plated the Mallards' second run of the ball game to tie it at 2-2. That score remained until the 6th when the Mallards took a 3-2 lead. And the second pitch in the count is a fastball perfectly into the corner for strike one. But 5 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning behind a few more Mallards errors. Cameron Kleins just did not have good command out of the bullpen yesterday. On 1-1, that pitch gets away from the catcher Gregorio. It almost hit the front foot of Jackson Chatterton, but Keenan Taylor is safely into second. Time is called behind home plate. So a hit by pitch for Taylor, and then a wild pitch moves him over to second base. And Jack Chatterton, an RBI opportunity here in the first inning. 3 out of the 5 games played so far for Madison, they've scored in the first. And he swings at the 2-1 and fouls it off right back behind home plate, wearing red gloves with his maple bat across his left shoulder. Donning Bradley University in Peoria, Illinois. Team leading 4 RBIs so far on the year for Jack. 7 of 19, a really good start with the bat. He waits on the 2-2, swing and a miss on a breaking ball, and Chatterton is struck out. Second K of the inning for Colin Daly.
Resulting in another $5 donated to Habitat for Humanity Ozaki, courtesy of James P. Meyer and the Turn Hall Financial Group Private.
So here comes the DH, Owen Jackson. Jackson and Jackson back to back. In the 4 and 5 holes for Madison today. Taps on the plate one time, waves the bat out towards Daly. And now slowly for a second and a third time before he rests the bat on his left shoulder. Daly stares back at Taylor at second base. First pitch fastball off the plate for ball 1. Not a great start at the plate for Owen Jackson. Just 1 of 10, but the one hit was a double. 2 walks, 3 RBIs. Couple of starts here and there. And the 1-ball pitch. Yeah, swing and swatted foul. Donnie Scott will race over and pick up the baseball.
Strike 1, 2 more until half price.
Tell you what, Donnie's got good speed here today. Home plate umpire today. Kondich calls for a reset of the pitch clock. Daly will step off as they continue to ask for the pitch clock to be reset. 1 ball, 1 strike in the count to Jackson. Taylor, the runner, on second base. The pitch from Daly is a fastball up and out. 3 consecutive lefties after 2 righties to start the order today for the Mallards. Tucker and Taylor from the right side. Chatterton, a switch hitter, batted left. Then Jackson and Jackson. On 2-1, Jackson swings and misses on a fastball right by the swinging bat, and there are 2 strikes on Owen Jackson. 2 balls, 2 strikes in the count. 2 away, top of the first inning. Colin Daly dueling with Owen Jackson. Raises his left leg, throws home, a swing and a miss. He strikes out the side here in the first inning. And Owen Jackson is struck out. No score heading to the bottom of the first inning from Moonlight Graham Field at Kapco Park on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. Bottom of the first inning from Kapco Park here in Mequon, Wisconsin. No score between Mallards and Chinooks. One more time, the Chinooks order this afternoon for Game 2 of the series after winning by a final score of 7-3 last night. Tag Gullert will lead off, followed by the shortstop Nate Mizikowski, second baseman Josh Overbeek, and left fielder Daniel Pasella. Batting fifth, Cody Kelly, Andy Nelson DHs. Logan Gregorio, Luke Robleski, and Q Phillips. Now final third for Trevor Cho in his first season as Chinooks head man. That starting 9 gets set to face off against the Mallards left-hander from Northern Illinois, Tommy Meyer. The 6th and final starter of the 6-man rotation that Madison sports to begin the year. Big number 39. First pitch from him is a fastball into the corner for a called strike on right-handed batter Tag Gullert. He got the Chinooks started in the right way yesterday with a leadoff double. Swings and misses on a curveball from Tommy. He says the curveball is like a curveball when it wants to be, and the other times it's like a slider, which he added last year. On 0-2, a fastball just misses the corner. Tommy thought he had strike 3. Into his motion with the 1-2 pitch. Delivers into the outside corner for a called strike 3. So all 4 outs recorded so far this afternoon between Colin Daly and Tommy Meyer have been by way of strikeout.
The shortstop, number 3, Nate Mizkowski.
All 6'5", 210 pounds of Tommy Meyer, the sophomore from Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. First pitch by the swinging bat of Nate Mizkowski. Quickly into his motion again. A changeup misses low. 1 ball and 1 strike against Mizkowski. Batting .368 in the early going. 7 of 19 overall. There's a curveball by the swinging bat. It's good stuff from Tommy Meyer. Plenty in his arsenal to work with. And the fastball rides up and away to make it 2-2. Four-seam fastball pretty consistent, around 86 to 89, up to 91 when he reaches back for it. On the ground, a breaking ball that lands right on the glove of Chatterton. Makes the easy throw to first, and there are 2 away in the home first inning from Kapco Park. What has been a windy, chillier day for the early summer.
Second baseman, number 4, Josh.
Temperatures were in the high 70s yesterday and the low 70s today. But you can feel the wind, and it is blowing straight in from center field with Lake Michigan right behind the fence in right. There's a swing and a miss to Josh Overbeek. There is a chance of rain in the 6 o'clock hour, but it seems like that has held off. On 0-1, Overbeek on the ground towards Chatterton again. Same exact spot. Meyer already walks off the mound. A good throw to first base. It's a 1-2-3 first frame for the Madison Mallards defensively. Good stuff by Tommy Meyer as we return for the second inning on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. No score, top of the second inning from Kapco Park here in Mequon, Wisconsin. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by 5 Tool Ale, the official beer of the Northwoods League. Look for 5 Tool Ale at select league ballparks or find 5 Tool Ale at Festival Food Stores in Wisconsin. Remember to drink responsibly, designate a driver, and get home safe. First pitch fastball to Isaiah Jackson, rides inside to make it 1-0. Today's debut for Isaiah was much anticipated. Bats in the 5-hole behind Owen Jackson. The Mallards struck out across the board in the first inning. He swings and taps it foul to make it 1-1. Tucker, Chatterton, and Owen Jackson all went down swinging with strikeouts from starting pitcher Colin Daly. Keenan Taylor batting second today was hit by a pitch, advanced to second base on a wild pitch, and stayed there. Daly stares in, comes set at the belt. Left foot slightly in front of the right, middle of the rubber. Throws home, fastball called strike. Jackson behind 1-2. Only Mallard making his debut today. Mikey Kluska made his yesterday. 1 ball, 2 strikes in the count. The pitch home is a swing and a miss, and Colin Daly already has 4 strikeouts. An outside fastball puts down Isaiah Jackson. And now here comes Mikey Kluska. From the looks of it up here in the booth, it looks like he's holding it with a 4-seam grip, but at the same time, it's moving into a lefty and away from a righty. First pitch swung on, a big hack from Kluska, and it's fouled off behind home plate. From Richmond University, Mikey Kluska, a spider. On 0-1, Kluska takes away on a slider off the arm of Colin Daly. He did not throw much at St. Thomas this spring. He only threw in 3 games, all in bullpen appearances for short amounts of times. Teammates with the Mallards, Bryce Liedl, who did not make the trip today with the team. 1 ball, 1 strike with Kluska. Daly fires home a curveball, bends Kluska out of the way to make it 2 balls and a strike in the count. Through 18 innings for Lakeshore a year ago. 18 hits, 13 earned runs. He walked 24 and struck out 24. This ball's popped up left side. Third baseman Gallert will finally locate it in the swirling wind and make the catch for the second out here in the away second. Outside of the hit by pitch for Keenan Taylor, nothing has been moving for either side offensively. And Jake Goolsby, who has pretty much been in the lineup every day for the Mallards, batting 4th, is slotted down to the 7 hole this afternoon. He bats here against the righty Daly, who misses with his first pitch 1-0. Goolsby 5 of 25, batting average .238 here in the early going. On 1-0, he takes fastball away, called strike. The Mallards have only grounded into 5 double plays this season. Jake Goolsby has bounced into 2 of them. It's hard contact, but it's on the ground. One of them coming at Warner Park. A fastball rides away, 2-1. Mallard's slugging percentage, one of the lowest in the league at just .267. 2-1 pitch. There's a big wave and a miss from Goolsby. I think he just got a piece of it to make it 2-2. Colin Daly coming after his 5th punch out already. Comes set at the belt on 2-2. He strikes out Goolsby on a fastball low. The Mallards have been struck out 5 times here in the first 2 innings. That's impressive stuff from Colin Daly. No score, bottom of the 2nd inning on tap from Kapco Park on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. Tommy Meyer back out to work for the Mallards. He will see the meat of the Chinooks order here in the home second inning. Pasella, Kelly, Nelson. That's 4, 5, and 6 for the home Chinooks. Impressive stuff in the bottom of the first inning. Backward strikeout, 2 consecutive ground balls towards Jack Chatterton at second base. First pitch hits the corner against Daniel Pasella, 0-1. Meyer into his windup, and the changeup is just chopped over towards the on-deck man, Cody Kelly. The Chinooks dugout resides down the first base line. The Mallards over on the third. On 0-2, swing and a miss. A beautiful slider that moves away, away, away from a left-handed bat. Puts down Daniel Pasella. Second strikeout for Tommy Meyer.
First baseman number 44, Cody Kelly.
We touched on it briefly. In the bottom of the first inning, it's a big arsenal for Tommy. First pitch curveball misses just low to Cody Kelly. 4-seam fastball, 2-seam fastball, a slider that was recently added, a curveball, and a circle change, which is his go-to pitch. He misses with the changeup there. And an elevated change at that, 2-0. Up at the brim of the helmet for Kelly. Feet together, into his motion. Meyer throws that changeup again into the outer corner to make it 2-1. On the left, the first baseman, Cody Kelly, after he put down the left fielder, Pasella, to begin the inning. On 2-1, inside, it got him on the elbow guard, and the Chinooks have their first base runner of the ball game.
The designated hitter.
So here comes Andy Nelson. Nelson was a Mallards destroyer a year ago. He had a great game at Warner Park in a marathon between the two clubs, including a home run and an extra inning ball game that Lakeshore was able to tear away from Madison. First pitch changeup in for a strike. Low into the zone. Tommy Meyer looks for a ground ball here to try and turn one and end the inning. And he gets a line drive foul over towards the kid zone. Past the grandstands on the right field side. Quickly ahead in the count, 0-2 to Andy Nelson, fresh out of the University of Iowa. On 0-2, Nelson, runner goes, ground ball towards third, off the diving glove of Taylor. Taylor will retreat back to third base. Over back to his shortstop position is Kluska. And the Chinooks have 2 base runners on here in the second inning. So striding in, the catcher, Logan Gregorio. Figure they'll likely give Kelly or Nelson a hit with Kelly at second base now. First pitch to Gregorio was a called strike. Still nothing up there on the board on the official decision. And they will give Nelson a single. So a first base hit today for Lakeshore. Second pitch curveball bounces into Canyon Brown, blocked nicely. Hands in the air from the batter, Gregorio. Wouldn't have been anything unusual to see the Mallards kick a ball around in the early going in a ball game. They are dead last in the league when it comes to committing errors. They've committed 14 through 5 games so far. Ground ball back towards second. Kluska steps on the second base bag. It was a beautiful bounce that led Kluska right over the pillow, and he made a strong throw to first base to Goolsby for an unassisted 6-3 double play that helps Tommy Meyer get out of the inning. No score heading to the top of the third inning from Kapco Park in Mequon on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. 8-9-1 for the Madison Mallards in the top of the third inning from Kapco Park here in Mequon, Wisconsin. Just real impressive stuff so far from Colin Daly. He has punched out 5 over his first 7 batters faced today. Canyon steps in as the Mallards catcher. First pitch to him, fastball away. Decent start at the plate this season for Canyon. 4 of 14, 2 RBIs. He struck out 4 times. A walk and a hit by pitch. On 1-0, a swing and a drive into center field. Phillips ranges over into right center. Routine depth, and he makes the catch, and Canyon Brown, the first good Mallard swing of the day, was just killed in the wind, which is blowing directly in from center field. As you can tell by the massive American flag and the pole out in center field beyond the 404 mark in the deepest part of center. Wind howling straight in from center. First pitch to Corbin Dickerson is a fastball in on the belt of the Mallards' right-handed batter, wearing 24 in the Aqua Blues. Dickerson waits on 1-0 from Daly. The pitch comes home, a curveball perfectly positioned for a strike. Two years now spent at St. Thomas in Minnesota. Out in St. Paul for Colin Daly. Delivers the 1-1, a swing and a bouncing ball towards third, high on a chop. Gollard waits on it, and he has his first miscue of the day. It bounced right in front of home plate, pretty much touched the sky, and then came back down on an awkward hop. And it made up Gollard. The Mallards have their second base runner on an E5. At St. Thomas, he has yet to start a game. He started 3 games last year for the Chinooks. First pitch to Tucker. He tries to lay down a bunt, but it's past the bat for a strike to make it 0-1. 0-1 all-time record with the Tommies. Just 15 innings pitched. 19 strikeouts, 18 walks. On 0-1, a fastball gets away from the catcher Gregorio, and sliding into second base is Corbin Dickerson because the shortstop Mizakowski tricked him out. There would have been a slight chance that Corbin could have turned around second base and headed towards third, but the ball came right back to the catcher Gregorio. 5th stolen bag for Corbin Dickerson. Tuck waits on the 1-1. Pitch home from Daly, a swing and a line drive towards third. The third baseman Gollard looks him back. Tucker racing towards first, and he is called out by a step. He ran halfway down the right field line into the outfield, hoping he was safe. And Gollard just pump faked, and pump faked one more time before eventually making a throw. And Jack Tucker, with all the speed in the world, is thrown out at first base, 2 away in the away third. Keenan Taylor so far the other Mallard that was able to reach back in the first inning on a hit by pitch. Daly looks back towards second. Corbin Dickerson takes off towards third. There will be no throw because his jump was fantastic. Taylor took a called strike on a fastball. A secondary lead with nobody. Mizakowski and Overbeek holding him on. And he was able to get about 15 feet off the bag. He shuffled twice and took off. Daly on 0-1 to Taylor. Swing and a drive into right center field, but killing it is the wind. Robluski under it. He'll make the catch. And that'll do it for the Mallards in the third inning. 1 error and a runner over to third base, but no damage shown on the scoreboard. 0-0. Here you're listening to Madison Mallards Baseball.
safe, fun look at Rainbow Play System.
Hey fans, the Northwoods League is giving you the opportunity to play NWL Lucky 7 every day for your shot at $100,000. You can find the NWL Lucky 7 game at northwoodsleague.com under the gaming tab. Answer 7 questions correctly about action in the Northwoods League, and you could win $100,000. The game is free to play. You must be at least 21. Terms and conditions apply. Luke Robluski steps in against Tommy Meyer. First pitch fastball misses just above the zone for ball 1. 2 strikeouts so far for Tommy Meyer. Quickly into his motion on 1-0. A line drive right past his head. Down to the dirt goes Meyer. He'll have to get back up. First hit of the inning, second hit of the day for the Lakeshore offense. That was a watch out for Tommy Meyer. Canyon Brown will walk out to check on him quickly. The umpires will give him a moment to collect himself. Robluski now 4 of 10 on the season. It took Tommy just 24 pitches to get through the first 2 innings. Goes from the stretch here. The lefty throws home to Q Phillips. Fastball inside as Phillips tried to put down a bunt. Keenan Taylor was charging from third. Jake Gouldsby holding on Robluski at first base. Phillips will swing away. I don't know how that's not a strike there from the home plate umpire, Terry Kondich. It was a changeup perfectly into the zone. 2 balls and no strikes. Tommy Meyer back to work. And he throws home into the corner. That one's a called strike. It's off the plate to make it 2 balls and a strike. And Q Phillips upset with the home plate umpire. A little inconsistent here in the first couple of innings for Terry Kondich, the crew chief. On 2-1, Meyer misses away. Canyon Brown stowed on to second base. That'll hit the base runner. Robluski will be safely into second. Canyon has 2 caught stealings already this season. This throw led the shortstop Kluska onto the opposite side of the bag. And a scoring opportunity here in the 3rd inning for Lakeshore. In the meantime, it is 3-1 with Phillips. Just 1 of 8 this season. Don't want to lose him as the 9-hole hitter. On 3-1, back towards Meyer. He'll look the runner back to second. That is well done by the Mallards 6'5" left-hander to calmly gather the ball, make sure he looks back towards second, and throw out a speedy Phillips at first base.
The third baseman, number 45, Tag Goller.
Mallards defense looking a bit better here in the early going. Just 2 1/3 through this ball game, and hopefully for the Mallards, it's just not something that you get used to hearing. First pitch, a big swing and a miss from Tag Goller. He was looking to put that ball beyond the fence in left field. If you want to hit one out, you better hit it hard today with how wild the wind is swirling in from center field. On 0-1. There's a curveball that just doesn't curve. 1 ball, 1 strike left high. No action so far for the Mallards outfield today. 1-1 pitch. There's a curveball in there for a strike. Into the inside corner. Canyon Brown framed it well to make it 1-2. Outfield today, Tucker, Isaiah Jackson, Dickerson over to right field for the first time this season. On 1-2, fastball just misses away. Brought a whole ball's width off the plate. The Mallards have had 2 base runners, and the Chinooks have now had 3. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Tommy Meyer puts down Tag Goller for the 2nd time this afternoon. 3rd strikeout overall, and a big one to get now with Nate Mizikowski to the plate.
Number 3, Nate Mizikowski.
Mizikowski had a big swing And the Chinooks victory last night with the bases loaded against bullpen arm Connor Lengrel. There's a swing and a line drive just over the glove of the second baseman Chatterton. Isaiah Jackson will throw to the plate. The throw will come into Brown, and the Chinooks have a 1-0 lead. Robluski got a good jump off second base, and we got to see Isaiah Jackson's arm for the first time. It was a good throw, but just came into the plate late. Jackson Chatterton had 1 more inch on the vertical. He was going to catch that ball. A 1-0 lead for Lakeshore here in the 3rd inning. Meyer throws home a fastball to Overbeek as left outside. Both games in this series, Lakeshore has taken the first lead. On 1-0 to Overbeek. Runner goes. Kenyon Brown stood on the second. No one's there to cover. Jack Chatterton luckily was there well behind second base. And it's a free bag for Mizikowski. So a stolen base works for Robluski as he singled to lead off the inning. And then Mizikowski singled, and a stolen bag moves him to second base. In the meantime, 1-1 with Overbeek. The pitch home. That's a changeup that misses. Half a ball's with above the zone. 2 balls and a strike. Decent start to the year for Josh Overbeek. 6 of 20 to begin his year. On 1-1. And a changeup misses away, and the scoreboard, just like yesterday, not updated in time. So 3 balls and a strike as the home plate umpire continues to ask the scoreboard to update from Kapco Park. Meyer set from the stretch, runner on second base, Mizikowski. 2 outs in the inning. On 3-1, a ground ball towards third. Diving stop by Taylor. Rises to his feet. A strong throw to first base. That's great stuff from the Purdue Boilermaker. As the Mallards, they strand 1 Chinook here in the bottom of the 3rd, but Lakeshore takes a 1-0 lead. We'll be right back on your home of Madison Mallards baseball.
offices, one call, that's all.
1-0 Lakeshore after 3 innings of play. The Mallards will have 3, 4, and 5. Coming to the plate here in the top of the 4th inning. James Reese is the new pitcher for the Chinooks, the freshman from right here in Mequon, Wisconsin. Lafayette University. First pitch to Jack Chatterton is a fastball up and away. A quick but very efficient day for Colin Daly. 40 pitches, 3 innings. No hits, no walks, no runs, 5 Ks. A swing and a pop-up down the left field line. That will get out of play. Placella chased it, the left fielder, but we'll watch it sail away. Daly did not go over 2 innings at St. Thomas over in St. Paul, Minnesota this spring. So a short appearance, but an efficient one, as mentioned. Chatterton swats away the 1-1, 1 ball, 2 strikes. An ERA booster, we like to call him. 3 innings with no one across the board. Chatterton rips one into center field. Back goes Phillips. He will measure it as the wind continues to play a role in today's ball game. First out of the frame on a good swing from Jack Chatterton. The Mallards still hitless through 3 1/3.
The designated hitter number 41, Owen Jackson.
The Mallards still have yet to hit their first bomb of the season, waiting on when that will come. And the man at the plate is a good prospect to do it, Owen Jackson. Fastball off the plate called for strike 1. Jackson looks back at Terry Kondich. Gives him an eyebrow raise and steps back in. On 0-1 from Reese. Delivers home with the windup. Curveball misses low. And the appeal down to Justin Duplessis is a called strike. Owen Jackson is frustrated in the left-handed batter's box. They weren't even going to appeal, and then the catcher, Gregorio, asked for it at the last second, and now it's an 0-2 hole. 0-2 fastball is up and away. It's a good spot, though, from Reese. That's a competitive pitch to make Jackson think about it. Really only Chatterton has had a great swing today for the Mallards. On 1-2, Owen Jackson pushes one down the left field line, and it's foul. After Owen is Isaiah Jackson, and then Mikey Kluska looking to get something moving for the Madison offense in the 4th. 1-2 from Reese is a swing and a pop-up behind home plate and foul. Gregorio loses the mask and throws it away. One ball, 2 strikes in the count. Reese into his motion. Curveball away for a called strike 3. 6th team strikeout now for the Chinooks. Brings up the next lefty, Isaiah Jackson. He struck out to begin the 2nd inning. Colin Daly struck out the side in the 1st inning with the hit by pitch sandwiched in between there. Then a swinging strikeout of Isaiah Jackson, a pop-out from Kluska, and a strikeout of Goolsby in the 2nd. Isaiah Jackson pops one up on the infield, charging his Gollert. He'll make the catch just inside fair territory. It's another 1-2-3 Chinooks defensive inning. 1-0 is the Lakeshore lead here in Mequon on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. Hey fans, the Northwoods League is proud to partner with the authentic Stadium Mustard this season. For over 50 years, Stadium Mustard has been offered at stadiums, ballparks, and arenas coast to coast, and the Mallards are proud to be serving Stadium Mustard back at home at Winter Park. Loved by millions, Stadium Mustard. Daniel Pasella, Cody Kelly, Andy Nelson against Tommy Meyer. 1-0 Chinooks, bottom of the fourth inning from Mequon, Wisconsin. First pitch from Tommy is a changeup that's high into the air left field. Jack Tucker, ranging over into foul territory, will make the catch. One pitch, one efficient out for Tommy. Two good swings from Lakeshore in the bottom of the third inning are the reason that the Chinooks are ahead in this ball game. A single from Wroblewski and a single from Mizakowski, both of them stealing bases. There's a big swing from Kelly, and he whiffs on it to make it 0-1. Meyer quickly into his motion. A curveball bounces past Canyon Brown, the Mallards catcher. 1 ball, 1 strike. Likes to work very fast. Takes advantage of the pitch clock. A fastball off the plate. 2 balls and a strike. Number one thing Tommy has improved on throughout the past 2 years at Northern Illinois is the mental side. On the ground towards the first baseman, Goolsby, and he's going to make an error. He should have been more aggressive on the high bounce. Tommy Meyer frustrated. He'll walk back to the mound. Should have charged it. Goolsby decided to wait back and let the turf take the ball on a higher bounce than he had anticipated. And the errors continue to be the number one thing on the to-do list for Donnie Scott here through his 6 games. So here's Andy Nelson taking a first pitch fastball for a strike into the outer part of the plate. It's really just been Goolsby at first base making his 5th start over there today. Owen Jackson started 1 game, and that was the loss in Wausau on Tuesday. Runner on the move. The throw down to second base from Brown is there to pick off Kelly. Great throw from Canyon Brown. And there are 2 away with an 0-2 count on Nelson. Trevor Cho and Lakeshore trying to be aggressive here in the 3rd and 4th innings, but Canyon Brown having none of it in the home 4th. A swing and a miss, and that might be the jolt that the Mallards need to get their offense moving. Tommy Meyer has been good through 4, but so has the Lakeshore pitching staff. It's a 1-0 Lakeshore lead. When we return, you're listening to Madison Mallards Baseball. Get ready for Women's Summer Collegiate Softball. Northwoods League Softball is beginning play in the summer of 2024. Find out more about Northwoods League Softball at northwoodsleague.com/softball. Follow them on Twitter at NWL Softball. The Mallards looking to get some offense going here in the top of the 5th inning. Trailing 1-0, Mikey Kluska steps in and slaps the first pitch foul well out of play down the right field side. James Reese, the first pitcher out of the bullpen for the Chinooks, replaces Colin Daly. 3 innings, 5 strikeouts, only 40 pitches. On 0-1, Kluska, same exact spot, down the right field line to make it 0-2. Six-foot freshman at Lafayette, Reese delivers home a curveball blocked nicely by Gregorio. No one on base. The Mallards have had 2 base runners today. Keenan Taylor was hit by a pitch in the first. Corbin Dickerson reached on an E5 in the 3rd inning. No runners since. On 1-2, Kluska fouls off. Figures to be a big piece for weeks to come, potentially the whole season if he can stay healthy for Madison. Figures to be the everyday shortstop for this team. Waits on the 1-2 from Reese. Curveball just misses low and in. Thought for a moment Terry Kondich might call him for strike 3. 18 appearances this spring for Reese. 7.71 ERA, 23 1/3 innings, 26 Ks. A fastball just misses the outside corner. Thought he had his second. And the count's all loaded up with Kluska. The Mallards could use their leadoff man on. Nobody away. 1-0 Chinooks. The payoff pitch. Outside corner. Kluska loses the bat. And he is rung up by Terry Kondich. He doesn't like the call. And the Mallards have had quite a few disagreements today with our home plate umpire, who is the crew chief of this 3-man staff. Kondich along with Justin Duplessis, who is over at 3rd base, and Jake Dunn is over at 1st. Here is Jake Goolsby for Madison. First pitch swinging, taps it foul towards the Chinook dugout. Oh, 0-1 on Jake. The pitch from Reese coming home. And it's bounced foul again towards the Chinook dugout. A little bit further this time, Nick Fazio will head over and grab it. The Mallards' first-year first base coach, a volunteer assistant after spending a graduate year at Louisville. On 0-2, Goolsby swinging a line drive, foul, not a play, down the right field side. Reese was used primarily as a bullpen guy for Lafayette this spring. A 1-2 record, 2 saves to go along with that total. A fastball just off the plate. On the far side in the right-handed batter's box as Goolsby steps back in, taps the plate once, waves the bat out twice, and then settles it over his left shoulder. 1 ball, 2 strikes to pitch home. Has a changeup up and away. 2-2 now on Goolsby. Struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. He's back against Colin Daly. On 2-2, ground ball back up the middle. That'll be the first Mallards base hit of the day. It was fielded by the shortstop Mizikowski, sprinting to his left, but he was well up in the hole, and Goolsby with pretty good speed was racing down the first base line.
The catcher, number 19, Kenyon Brown.
So if there were any murmurs of a potential no-hitter from Kapco Park, those have now been disregarded. It seemed like on opening night for the Mallards that they could have potentially been on their way to one with the way Derek Salata was pitching. He was fantastic. Through 5 innings, he did not allow a hit nor any hard contact in his first game. Kenyon Brown takes a ball low. Certainly look forward to Derek's next start, potentially tomorrow in Wisconsin Rapids. Goolsby's back in sliding safely on a slow pickoff move from Reese. One ball in the count to Kenyon. Fastball up and in at the hands, makes it 2-0. For James Reese, he competed for the University School of Milwaukee as a high school. He was a 2-year starter as a pitcher and an infielder, and he was impressive on both sides of the scorecard. .485 career batting average, and his ERA was .2. That's 0.2. Fastball in for a strike makes it 2 balls and a strike with Canyon. Runner on first base, the Mallards' first base hit of the game. Jake Goolsby owns that right. On 2-1, Canyon on a curveball, swings and taps it towards third. Gollert will throw to second, no play at first base. And Goolsby is off the base paths on a fielder's choice, so Canyon Brown will be the runner at first base.
Right fielder number 24.
Goolsby got off the bag pretty quickly over at first. He did not have a big lead. And now bottom of the order, Corbin Dickerson for the Mallards. First pitch coming from Reese. Fastball just off the plate for a ball, and it's going both ways right now with Terry Kondich, as he's now hearing from Trevor Cho and the Lakeshore dugouts. Logan Gregorio wanted to throw it back quickly, but he thought it was going to be a strike as Dickerson fouls off the 1-0 pitch right behind home plate. I think even James Reese is a little frustrated with a couple of the results here this inning. Tommy Meyer has spoken his mind for the Mallards. Canyon Brown has as well. Runner takes off. Pitch inside. Throw down to second base from the catcher Gregorio. Is not there in time to pick off Canyon Brown. His first stolen base of the season as Dickerson took a ball. Corbin in the box, waiting on the pitch from Reese. Pitch clock down to 10. That's the time that Corbin's got to be ready. 2-1 on its way. It's a curveball that remains high. 3 balls and a strike. The speedy Corbin Dickerson at the plate. Canyon Brown with pretty good speed himself at second base. Not a big leadoff. Top of the order looming, Jack Tucker, then Keenan Taylor. 1-0 Chinooks here in the top of the 5th inning from Mequon. Big leadoff now for Canyon. Jumping back and forth on 3-1. It's fouled off behind home plate again. Count is full with Corbin Dickerson looking to potentially tie up this ball game in the 5th. The pitch home, it's popped up to the third base side, racing over Gregorio, and it will fall out of play. Just a few feet and 2 rows into the stands here behind home plates. Time called on the field, and they're asking for the pitch clock to once again be reset. They had to wait a while with Colin Daly pitching to reset the pitch clock. Runner on second base, Canyon Brown, 1-0 Lakeshore. The pitch home, ground ball up the middle. That will squeeze through. Canyon Brown coming around to score. Q Phillips will unload towards home plate. Canyon Brown will slide in safe, and the Mallards have tied it up 1-1. Here in the 5th inning, thanks to a Corbin Dickerson single. A slow start in the Wausau series to begin the year for Dickerson. 3 hits in the series against Fond du Lac. Did not have a hit last night, but he walked and drove in a run. And he drives in the first Mallards run here to tie it up in a speedy game here from Mequon, Wisconsin. So here's the top of the order with Jack Tucker to the plate. Colin Daly was already not going to receive a decision today. He only pitched 3 innings. Dickerson back in sliding safely. Second time on today for Corbin. And the E5 back in the third. He advanced to second base on a wild pitch as Reese checks over there again. Then he stole the bag on a magnificent jump off second base. Might take off again. First pitch of Jack Tucker is in the air center field. And Phillips barely has to shuffle his feet backwards, and he puts away Tucker. But that's after the Mallards tie up this game at 1 apiece. Here from Kapco Park in Mequon, Wisconsin. 1-1, Madison and Lakeshore on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. Get ready for Women's Summer Collegiate Softball. Northwoods League Softball is beginning play in the summer of 2024. Find out more about Northwoods League Softball at northwoodsleague.com/softball. Follow us on Twitter at NWL Softball. Tommy Meyer back to work. Logan Gregorio digs in. First pitch fastball for a called strike. Gregorio, a hot start to his season. He grounded into a double play his first time up. A breaking ball misses away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Tommy Meyer. Entering today, 5 of 10, 3 RBIs, 3 walks, only 2 strikeouts. He bounces a ground ball foul down the first base line. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. Tommy threw 20 innings for Northern Illinois and the Huskies this spring, primarily as a bullpen piece on 1-2. Fastball up and in by the brim of the helmet. His record was 1-3. He picked up 1 save, and his ERA was forgettable up at 13.50. 2-2 pitch. That's squeezed into right field, heading back Chatterton. It'll fall in front of the right fielder Dickerson. A leadoff single by Logan Gregorio on a short flare to right field. Puts leadoff man on for the Chinooks here in the home 5th inning. Luke Wroblewski singled, came around to score after swiping a bag 2 innings ago. First pitch from Meyer, fastball called strike. Keenan Taylor plays pretty close to the grass over at third base. Middle of the infield plays back. Outfield not playing too deep this afternoon with the swirling wind in from center field. Meyer throws home, change up away. Kind of makes a motion towards home plate as he readjusts himself to throw on 1-1. Comes set just above the belt, looks over towards first, throws home. There's a breaking ball that doesn't break much to make it 2-1. 7-8-9 for Lakeshore here in the 5th. Runner on first base, leadoff single for Logan Gregorio, the catcher. Short leadoff at first base. Meyer comes home, a slapped line drive foul. Down the first base line. 2 balls, 2 strikes now on Wroblewski. On 2-2, Meyer delivers. A breaking ball in there for a called strike 3. He sits down Wroblewski and picks up the first out of the inning, and strikeout number 5 on the day for the big left-hander.
Center fielder number 0, Phillips.
He wants to get ahead of these bottom of the order bats for Lakeshore and their really good offense. Q Phillips bounced out to Tommy. His first time up. First pitch here to Q is a slider again. Back-to-back pitches that Tommy has thrown the sweeper, and it misses low and into the right-handed bat of Q. On 1-0, Tommy a fastball, perfectly positioned outside corner for strike 1. He fell behind Phillips 3-1 in his first at-bat, then threw him a slider to make it 3-2, and then he bounced out to the pitcher. There's back up the middle on a ground ball. Chatterton backhands, throws to second base. Kluska, the relay over to first. They're not going to make the throw. Kluska just kept the ball in his glove, decided not to toss it. Tommy says, good decision. As Kluska yesterday threw an errant potential double play ball over into the netting down the first baseline. That was for the Mallards' first error of the game, but Logan Gregorio was off the base paths on the fielder's choice. Q Phillips with plenty of speed over at first base. Top of the order for Tag Gollert, a line drive into center field. Isaiah Jackson's first opportunity out there at the 8 position. He makes the catch, relays it back in, and that'll do it in the Lakeshore 5th inning. 1-1 tie. We've got ourselves a good ball game from Kapco Park here on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. The Northwoods League is giving you the opportunity to play NWL Lucky 7 every day for your shot at $100,000. You can find the NWL Lucky 7 game at northwoodsleague.com under the gaming tab. Answer 7 questions correctly about action in the Northwoods League, and you could win $100,000. The game is free to play. You must be at least 21. Terms and conditions apply. 2-3-4 for the Ducks here in the 6th inning. 1-1 tie with the Lakeshore Chinooks as Lakeshore took the first game of the series yesterday. Final score of 7-3 with 5 runs in the bottom of the 7th. Keenan Taylor is hit by a breaking ball on the first pitch. Second time that his left arm has been hit today. And the first time it was with a fastball from the starter, Colin Daly. This time it's from the first bullpen arm, James Reese. And in digs Jack Chatterton. First pitch, breaking ball outside. Tried to lay down a bunt, and he laid off of it. The Mallards will take the leadoff man on base as Chatterton draws in the third baseman Gollert from the dirt to the grass as Reese picks over to first base, and Taylor's back in sliding safe. Chatterton into the furthest spot back in the box. Squares to bunt, pulls it back, and lays off a high fastball. It's 2-0. 2-0 in the count with Chatterton. Short lead off for Taylor at first base. The fastball is outside. Taylor will dive back in safely on the throw from the catcher, Gregorio. And a good count for Chatterton with the power part of the order coming up. Owen Jackson and Isaiah Jackson are due up. That tandem has struck out 3 times today. On 3-0, a fastball up and in, called for strike 1. Chatterton nods his head yes. Short conversation with Terry Condich behind the plate. Waves the bat out 1 time towards Reese. Wiggles the bat slightly across his left shoulder. The pitch home, a swing and a drive into right field. That one's trouble. Back goes Wroblewski to the track, to the wall. He will make a sprinting catch just in front of the wall in right center field. A nice looking swing from Chatterton, and the game still at 1-1. Will remain that way for now as Taylor was nearly at second base and had to race back.
The designated hitter number 41, Owen Jackson.
That was likely the hardest hit ball of the season so far for Madison. They have not hit for much power. Their slugging percentage will drop even more today if they're not able to hit for any extra bases. First pitch, Owen Jackson takes changeup blown away. Slugging percentage as a crew at .267, which is not high. On 1-0, Owen swings. It's a big swing, and he fouls it back to the screen. For those that aren't too aware with slugging percentage, it's the total number of bases a batter records in an at-bat, which means the more bases in an at-bat, the better your slugging percentage will be. On 1-1, Taylor takes off. The throw down to second base from the catcher. Gregorio is into center field. Taylor gets up. He's going to sprint towards third. Phillips picks it up. There will be no throw from the lefty in center. Sliding in head first safe is Taylor. 2 head first slides. Running around the base pads, and Owen Jackson in a 1-1 count will have a chance to give the Mallards the lead here in the 6th inning. Second Chinooks error of the afternoon, and now an RBI chance for Owen Jackson. On the ground towards the right side, Taylor will take off for the plate. Owen Jackson gets it done on a sharp ground ball to the right side, fielded cleanly by Overbeek. He completes the throw with Kelly, and the Mallards have taken a 2-1 lead in the away 6th inning. It's been a struggle at the plate early for Owen Jackson, but he has certainly been able to drive in runs by way of sacrifice flies, and now a ground ball on the ground that scores Taylor as Isaiah Jackson takes a curveball away, 1-0. Second pitch to Isaiah from Reese is a big swing, a hack that's fouled off behind home plate. Two away in the away 6th inning from Mequon, Wisconsin. The wind has changed direction slightly, blowing in from center field, now blowing towards the first baseline. Curveball inside to Isaiah, who wears number 2 in his debut. Reese from the windup, steps back, kicks, delivers a fastball low and in. Isaiah Jackson looking to get on board for the first time as a Mallard. 2-1, a Madison lead after Lakeshore took a 1-0 edge in the 3rd inning. The Mallards have scored runs in the 5th and the 6th. On 3-1, fastball low and in. Isaiah is on board for the first time in his career as a Madison Mallard. An impressive first inning for Reese, as Kluska steps in. Jackson Chatterton has read the ball well out of his arm. A deep fly out to center, and a high drive to right center field that was caught. But back in the fourth inning, it was fly out, backwards K, and pop outs. Second time for Kluska here. A swing and a drive, deep left field. This one's got a chance. Back to the corner, chases the left fielder, Pacella, and he makes the catch in the corner by the 3:17 mark. Mikey Kluska put a swing on a first pitch fastball from Reese, and a wonderful catch from Pacella in the deepest part of the left corner. 2-1 Mallards lead. They pick up one in the sixth inning on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. Bottom of the sixth inning from Lakeshore. Tommy Meyer's day is done. The Mallards have taken a 2-1 lead, which gives Tommy potentially a winning decision on the table. And now it's up to the Mallards bullpen. The first arm they will use today is the left-hander making his Mallards debut. 6'2" native of Evansville, Wisconsin. And at the University of Evansville in Indiana, Will Peterson. Only 2 appearances his freshman year, 3 2/3 total innings, and an ERA of 12.27. 2-3-4, not an easy start for Peterson. Highly recruited out of the state of Wisconsin, number 5 ranked pitcher in his class. First pitch fastball misses low to Nate Mizikowski. 1 for 2 on the day, a stolen bag and a run driven in. Second pitch fastball perfectly pinpointed into the outside corner to the righty. Outside of Mizikowski, the top of the order has not been great today for the Chinooks. Hitless. There's a swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Peterson from the left side, a bit of a deceptive delivery. Starts 45 degrees towards the third base dugout, then comes set. Delivers home, and it's a deceptive fastball out of his left hand. A 2-2 is now the count. Got a good curveball that bends really well on 2-2. There it is, and it misses the outside corner to fill up the count. From the windup, the payoff pitch from Peterson is a fastball that misses high. He missed his landing spot as he kind of fell over on the mound. And a leadoff walk for the Mallards bullpen after not issuing a walk-all ball game. Tommy Meyer's final stat line, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 5 strikeouts over 64 pitches. Lakeshore will likely go to the bullpen in the top of the 7th. Peterson throws home, first pitch fastball off the plate to Overbeek. Got to take advantage of him being at the plate and pitching low and away to Overbeek. 2 bounce outs today. Meyer got him with a 4-3 in the first inning and then a 5-3 bounce out to the third baseman in the third. Another fastball low and away. Canyon Brown will call time and head out to Peterson. And that's a veteran move from Canyon. We'll pull Peterson for a conversation. The Mallards have some slight action moving down in the bullpen. Looks like Nick Argento is the Mallard getting moving, the North Carolina Tar Heel. For the first appearance of the season, it seemed likely that Peterson would only throw an inning regardless. A leadoff walk and a 3-2 count after being ahead. On 2-0, delivers home. There's a beauty of a fastball just across the plate. And now he's back in the count, 2 balls and a strike. Comes set above script Madison from his set position. A check swing on a fastball. Canyon Brown doesn't even check down to first base. 3-1 in the count to Overbeek. Runner on first base is Mizikowski. Peterson's got to come with it here. Big swing and a miss to make it a full count again. Tale of 2 different appearances for Will Peterson. His last time pitching live in a game was March 29th. On 3-2, swinging a ground ball towards the left side, past the diving Taylor and into left field. So you'd rather make him earn it, throw him strikes. And that's exactly what Overbeek did. He earned it there with a fastball that he put right through the gap in the 6-hole. Runners on first and second, and a big threat here from Lakeshore with the cleanup man, Daniel Pasella, coming to the plate. The warm-up has gotten even faster for Argento. Peterson picks up the rosin bag, then drops it, stares towards Pasella. Collegiate teammates with Mallard's ace, Derek Salata. Pickoff move back towards second. And there's the disengagement. Justin Duplessis, the home plate umpire yesterday, now at third base, makes that very clear. First pitch to Pasella is a changeup that's low. For Peterson, it's all about getting ahead of the batter. He did that in the count with Mizikowski, and then he lost him with the walk. Peterson was able to fight back in the count with Overbeek, then he singled on a 3-2. Here's the 1-0 pitch here. It's a fastball that I think it got a piece of the umpire behind home plate. We'll make sure he's okay. Terry Condich, he didn't call a foul. I think Pasella maybe thought it was a foul ball. But I think it was just a fastball that nicked off the glove of Canyon Brown and got the lower right abdomen of Terry Condich. But for Peterson, an 0-1 record, ERA of 12.27 this spring. And as mentioned, it was a tale of 2 different appearances. In his first at Bellarmine on March 15th, he went 3 innings. He allowed just 1 hit, 1 walk, struck out 3. He did hit a batter. And then against Southeast Missouri, 2 weeks later, only 2/3 of an inning, 5 earned runs, 3 hits. He hit 4 on a breaking ball and makes it 1-2. A beauty of a pitch from Peterson. So 5 hit by pitch. He struck out 4 on the year, walked just 1. On 1-2, a big out to get here. A pop up down the left field line. Pasella. And Taylor will watch it bounce out of play. Would be nice to see if Will Peterson could roll the ground ball for the Mallards defense here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 2-1 Mallards. See if he can put away Pasella on 1-2. A fastball away. Nicely caught by Canyon Brown. Nobody out. 2 runners on base. Mizikowski at second. Overbeek at first. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch from Peterson is a curveball that just misses high, and it loads up the count. Peterson frustrated with the no call. Dangerous batter at the plate. Pasella led Illinois State in slugging at .585 this spring on 3-2. He slaps it off foul. Pasella was one of just 3 players to play in all 50 games for Illinois State this spring. Started 49 of them. Count is full with Pasella. And here it comes for the second time in this AB from Peterson. Fastball into the corner, called for ball 4, and Peterson lost him. Bases loaded, nobody out. Pretty similar story to yesterday, except it was the bottom of the 7th inning a day ago.
That walk means another $5 will be donated by My Choice Wisconsin to Mel's Charities.
So now the Mallards defense will have to play in on the corners,
Now batting for the Chinooks, 44,
with Cody Kelly coming to the plate. First pitch, swing and a foul off. 1 strike in the count with Kelly. Peterson a big out to get. Nobody away. Bases loaded for the Chinooks in the home 6th inning. On 0-1. Bounces away from Canyon Brown. That's going to score a run. In to score is Mizikowski. To third is Overbeek. Pasella into second, and the Mallards bullpen continues to have an issue with command in the later stages of ball games through these last couple ball for the Mallards. So the decision is now out of Tommy Meyer's hands. It's fully in Will Peterson's on the 1-1 pitch. Here it comes. Curveball up by the helmet, ball 2. Cameron Kleins just could not throw strikes yesterday. Will Peterson struggling here. Here comes the 2-1. That's going to hit the batter. Cody Kelly down to first, and the command issues continue. Donnie Scott immediately out of his seats, and that will be the day likely for Will Peterson. He leaves his seat and immediately points down to the bullpen. So a 2-2 ball game here for Mequon. Will Peterson just didn't have it. It's 2-2 from Kapco Park, and the Mallards will go to the bullpen. We'll meet the new Mallards arm when we come back on your home of Madison Mallards Baseball. A fresh 2-2 tie from Kapco Park here in Mequon, Wisconsin. Will Peterson just did not have it for the Mallards out of the bullpen. A walk, a single, a walk, and a hit by pitch has tied this game after the Mallards took the lead in the top of the 6th inning. New pitcher for the Mallards is 6'6", North Carolina Tar Heel, Nicholas Argento. Redshirt freshman hailing from Wayzata, Minnesota. One appearance on the season, game number 2 at Wausau in the 6-2 loss. Pitched 1 inning, struck out 1. Andy Nelson with the bases loaded, full of Chinooks. First pitch from Nick is a fastball for a called strike. Mallard's defense has been out there for a while. They just have not seen their pitcher throw it in the strike zone in this frame. 1 strike in the count. Argento comes home. A breaking ball misses just low and outside to Nelson. Did not play yesterday. Singled in the 2nd. Struck out swinging in the 4th against Tommy Meyer. Now Argento comes set. Down at the belt on 1-1. A fastball up above the zone. 2-1. The Mallards walked in the go-ahead run a night ago. That was with Connor Langer on the bumper, leaving Cam Kleins. There's a fastball into the zone from Argento. Nobody out here at the bottom of the 6th inning. Plenty of ball game left. Two is the tie between Madison and Lakeshore here from Kapco Park. Here's a 2-2 pitch to Nelson. A swing and a ground ball that is tapped foul on a high bounce back behind home plate. Corbin Dickerson reached for the Mallards on an E5 back in the 3rd inning on a ball that bounced what seemed like above the netting. Immediately off the swing into the turf and high into the air. 2-2 count again with Nelson. The pitch from Argento, and that got him. Canyon Brown points over to first base. He's frustrated because they thought he went around, and apparently he didn't. So the Chinooks are gifted a run here in the 6th inning to make it 3-2. RBI hit by pitch for Andy Nelson. The issue for the Mallards the last 2 seasons now, especially in their 8-28 second half. Last season was because of this, their inability to throw strikes and not allowing the other team to earn the lead. First pitch fastball finds the zone with Gregorio as Lakeshore is now ahead 3-2 and the base is still loaded, nobody out. On 0-1 to Gregorio. There's a changeup off the plate. A ball and a strike in the count with the left-handed swinging Gregorio. On 1-1. Fastball laced in the right center field. Over comes Dickerson. He'll make the catch. No chance to tag. They're going to tag all the way to the plate. The first baseman, Goolsby, knocks the ball away, and that will allow another runner to come home to score. Didn't look like at first Pacella would tag. Dickerson put a good throw down, and Goolsby cut it off. That plates another Chinooks run to make it 4-2. Runner still on first and second. The first out is finally picked up, and here comes Robluski, who is 1 for 2. First pitch is a called swinging strike. Argento works middle of the mound, comes set at script Madison, then brings it down to the belt. Stares in, delivers home a fastball for called strike 2. Robluski is the 7th Chinook to come to the plate this inning. Plenty of offensive opportunities left for Madison, trailing 4-2. Fastball is tapped foul. We'll stay at 0-2. The wind has once again changed direction slightly. Back in from center field. On 0-2, there's a fly ball into right. Dickerson under it, and he'll make the catch for the second out of the inning. So good work so far for Nick Argento in relief. And Jared Everson will pinch hit for Q Phillips with 2 runners on base.
Pinch hitting for the Chinooks is 21, Jared Everson.
So Everson gets the call instead of Phillips. 5 of 12 on the season, a double, 2 RBIs, 2 walks, 3 Ks. On base percentage of .500 for Everson out of Minnesota. Kelly at second, Nelson on first, 4-2 Chinooks lead. Argento, fastball on the ground towards Taylor, and he will calmly field it and step on third base. A lengthy defensive inning for the Mallards on the field. Chinooks pick up 3. It's 4-2 Lakeshore here on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. First pitch fastball to Jake Goolsby from new pitcher Connor Krausbeck. Is in there for a strike to lead off the top of the 7th inning. Mallards trailing 4-2. The 0-1 on its way. Goolsby on a ground ball towards third. Fielded into the chest of third baseman Gollert. Completes a good throw over to first, and Jake Goolsby is put away here in the 7th. The Mallards earned a 2-1 lead heading into the bottom of the 6th inning, and then Will Peterson out of the bullpen as the first arm for the Mallards. Just did not have good stuff in the bottom of the 6th prior to Argento entering a walk, single, walk, a wild pitch, and a hit by pitch. Canyon Brown digs in for the Mallards and takes a first pitch fastball off the plate. Second pitch is up and in, and it's a called strike on Canyon, who does hover over the plate. One ball, one strike against the North Carolina A&T catcher. Curveball sharply on the ground, foul down the third base line. One ball, two strikes with Canyon. Krausnick comes set. Stares in, delivers home. That's above the helmet of Canyon. It's 2-2. Krausnick at 5'8", 175. Hometown of Saginaw, Michigan, pitches right here at CUW, Concordia University, Wisconsin. Career ERA of 7.54. Only 9 1/3 this season with an ERA of 6.75 on 2-2. A swing and a miss. A fastball by the bat of Brown. Corbin Dickerson, the final Mallard that was due up this inning, will dig in. Corbin's been on twice today, an E5 in the 3rd and a single in the 5th inning. First pitch to him as a fastball high from Krausnick. The decision was briefly in the hands of Reese, the first bullpen pitcher. He finished 3 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run. 1 walk, 2 Ks. A curveball slapped deep into left center field. Back goes the left fielder, Pasella. That will bounce up against the wall. The center fielder, who was Phillips, is now out of the game. Out there now is Everson, was able to field it on 1 hop and throw it in, and Corbin Dickerson continues to get the job done for the Mallards in the 9-hole, and that's something that Donnie Scott really likes to have, is a good batter that can bat as the final man in the order, and he might have that with Corbin Dickerson. Jack Tucker is set to dig in, but tying the shoe first is the pitcher Krausnick. Tucker waits on the first pitch from Krausnick and fouls it off down the first base line. So the defensive change is officially for Lakeshore. In center field now is Robluski. He moves from right field to center. Drew Townsend is the new right fielder. On 0-1, Tucker, a big swing and a miss to make it 0-2. Mallards have a chance to cut into this 4-2 lead that Lakeshore has right now. Corbin Dickerson at second base. On 0-2, fastball misses high. It was a good pitch from Krausnick. Gregorio points out towards him, tells him good pitch. One and 2 in the count. Good lead off of second for Dickerson, and Tucker calls time. The Mallards leadoff man today 0 for 3. Swinging strikeout in the first, a ground out to third base in the 3rd inning. And a fly out to deep center field. And his last at-bat in the 5th. RBI opportunity here for him. Just one run driven in so far on the year, batting up at the 1 hole. And the 1-2 bends Tucker out of the way. Krausnick back to the hill. Dickerson, his short lead off of second. He stole third base back in the 3rd inning with a great lead. Now Overbeek bouncing around at second base. Tucker flares one into left field. Charging is Pasella. That's going to be a tough play. It'll bounce as a foul ball. The home plate umpire, Terry Kondich, made the call from all the way down at home plate. And all of the Mallards, of course, saying a fair ball down in the bullpen. No contest from Donnie Scott. And I think the Mallards bullpen was trying to play with Terry Kondich, who's the home plate umpire today, and Justin Duplessis is not in a position to make that call. He is the third base umpire, but he stands behind the mound. I mean, just inches into foul territory. It looked like it was going to land foul. And that Mallards bullpen, I think every single one of them down there pointed into fair territory to say it's a fair ball. Might have gotten Jack Tucker to believe it a little more as well. 2-2 on its way. Swing and a miss on a fastball away, and that'll do it for the top of the 7th. 4-2 lead for Lakeshore when we return on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. Bottom of the 7th inning from Kapco Park here in Mequon, Wisconsin. Mallards were just inches away from cutting into the Lakeshore lead. And a little flare into left field was called foul, which would have easily scored Corbin Dickerson from second. Nick Argento back to work, swinging a line drive into center field off the bat of Gollard. That'll lead off the bottom of the 7th in the right way for Lakeshore. Isaiah Jackson fields and relays back into the infield. So Nate Mizakowski, who's been on base twice today, he led off that long bottom of the 6th inning against Will Peterson, who for the Mallards did not record an out, allowed 1 hit, walked 2. He also hit a batter. First pitch fastball just off the plate to Mizakowski. Argento in there now. He took over for Peterson. A hit by pitch for him. Jove in a run. Canyon Brown will throw down the first baseline, and that'll end up in the corner. Potential big trouble for the Mallards as Gollard will stride around second and head for third. And the Mallards, their second error of the afternoon, puts another runner in scoring position for Lakeshore. League worst 16 errors now for the Mallards this season. And a 2-0 count with Nate Mizikowski. Infield plays in for Madison. On 2-0, a big swing and a miss. First error committed in the 4th inning on Jake Goolsby. There's a swing and a tap foul back to the screen, 2-2. Madison committed 3 a night ago, which really haunted the team in the long bottom of the 7th. On 2-2, Argento throws in a breaking ball that's blocked cleanly by Canyon Brown, the catcher. And that was a throw that just simply was not going to make it to Jake Goolsby. It went way over his head, and that made for a long run for Corbin Dickerson. Count is full with Mizikowski. The pitch from Argento misses low and in. And a walk. Five consecutive reached for Lakeshore in the bottom of the 6th inning. The first 2 reach here in the bottom of the 7th. Argento comes set. Infield still plays in on the corners. A fastball is just off the plate. Canyon Brown delays the throw back to Argento. Josh Overbeek bats for Lakeshore as they look for a 2-game sweep of Madison. 1-0 pitch from Argento. And misses the outside corner again. Another fastball from Nick. Steps immediately back up to the mound and gets set for the 2-0 with Overbeek. Fastball that's lined towards second. Fielded cleanly by Chatterton. Throws a second. Relay to first. Is not there in time. A runner will come in to score. It's a fielder's choice, but an RBI for Josh Overbeek, making the score 5-2 with the bottom of the 7th. Here comes the big swinging Daniel Pasella. 5-2 is the lead for the Chinooks in the bottom of the 7th inning. First pitch from Argento as a fly ball down the left field line, well out of play. Five runs on 7 hits, 2 errors on Lakeshore. Scoreboard still not updated at Kapco Park. And the error column for Madison. 2 runs on 3 hits. Should be 2 errors on the scoreboard. Changeup misses away with Pasella. It's 1-1. Argento locks, loads, delivers. There's a fly ball into left field. Charging comes Tucker, still coming on. Calls off Kluska and makes the catch in the most shallow part of left field. Here comes Cody Kelly, who's been on all 3 times today. He's come to the plate. He's been hit with a pitch twice and reached on the first Mallards error of the day. (5-2) Chinooks lead, bottom of the 7th inning. First pitch on the ground, foul, down the first base line. And for a team that really wants to compete for the first half title in the first 36, it's just not going to happen with the team committing 16 errors and not throwing strikes. Changeup misses off the plate, 1-1. Nick Argento doing his best to do so. A single to Gollert to lead off the inning. A Mallards error on catcher Canyon Brown pushed the runner all the way to third. A walk to Mizikowski, and then a fielder's choice allowed the run to score. 1-1 pitch, fastball up and away. 2 balls and a strike. Two and one in the count. Cody Kelly at the plate. And a fastball into the corner for a called ball. 3-1 now. Strike zone has been inconsistent today for Terry Kondich, and it's been both ways. Reese should have had likely 2 more strikeouts to his name. 3-1 pitch. That one's nowhere close. And a 3-1 count. Cody Kelly will walk. And another threat for Lakeshore at the plate here in the bottom of the 7th inning, leading it 5-2. RBI chance for Andy Nelson. Making his debut today. First pitch in the count from Argento is a fastball away. Nice snag by Canyon. Keep it in front of the Mallards catcher. Runner on second base, Overbeek. Runner on first, Kelly. 5-2 Lakeshore. They've scored 1 more here in the 7th. And a fastball up and in, bends Nelson out of the way, and Nick Argento has started to lose his command just a little bit here in the 7th. Argento set just above the belt, delivers home a fastball. Back to second base, Chatterton puts the tag on the runner at second base, Overbeek. It's a wonderful job by Canyon Brown to communicate with Jack Chatterton that he would throw out that runner. The lead remains 5-2, Lakeshore still in front. Lots of work to do for Madison on the offensive side when we return on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. A 5-2 lead for Lakeshore here from Kapco Park. The Mallards will have 2, 3, and 4 coming to the plate against a new arm, DJ Hess. Has pitched 2 games so far in the season, back-to-back days. Wednesday and Thursday. Keenan Taylor steps in and pops up the first pitch to the left side. Shallow left field. Shortstop Mizikowski drops his glasses but does not drop the ball. 1 out in the top of the 8th inning. Second year with the Chinooks for Hess. Did not play with the team last year, but was with Lakeshore 2 seasons ago back in 2021. Jackson Chatterton bats from the left side. Lakeshore implores a slight shift towards the right field line for the infielders. First pitch fastball up and away to make it 1-0 with Chatterton. 2 really good swings today. There's a breaking ball perfectly into the outside corner for strike 1. He struck out against the starter Daly, and then 2 swings against Reese that both ended up having chances, but with the wind, it killed him. Here's a line drive into center field, down in front of the center fielder Wroblewski. And if the Mallards want to get something moving offensively, it better start fast against this Lakeshore bullpen. Chatterton has simply just been the guy for Madison. So now Jackson and Jackson, Owen and then Isaiah. Owen a sacrifice ground out in the 6th inning and 2 Ks to begin his day. First pitch fastball called for a strike into the outside corner. Madison at 3-2, Lakeshore at 2-3. Both teams looking at 500. If that's how the rest of the day shakes out. Here's a line drive slicing into center field. It's going to drop in front of Wroblewski. He lost it in the lights. And Owen Jackson, a much-needed single for him, as he's been slumping here in the last couple of games since the double on opening night. Here comes Isaiah Jackson as the potential tying run in this ball game. The Mallards had 2 hits in the first 7 innings of this ball game. They have 2 here in the top of the 8th, with Chatterton and Owen Jackson getting it done. Right fielder Townsend and center fielder Wroblewski play relatively shallow. First pitch curveball misses the outside corner. It's 1-0 with Jackson. One heck of a freshman season for Isaiah Jackson at Arizona State. Second pitch to him is a breaking ball that's right in across the foot of Isaiah. 2 balls, no strikes. Mikey Kluska almost went yard for the first time for the Mallards this season in the 6th inning to left field. He waits on deck. Isaiah Jackson ahead in the count 2-0. The pitch from Hess, fastball away, bounces out of the glove of the catcher Gregorio. And now perfect count for Isaiah. And Donnie Scott typically gives the green light on 3-0. Hess comes set, first base out of the rubber, delivers home. It's a fastball for a called strike. Isaiah will knock some of the turf pellets off of his cleats here at Concordia University, Wisconsin. Before digging back in, Chatterton the runner on second. Owen Jackson the runner on first. Isaiah Jackson in the box. He walked in his last at-bat on 3-1, a swing and a fly ball into left field, perfectly towards Pasella. He will make the catch. Isaiah trying to work inside out, just pushed it too far into left field.
Shortstop number 8, Mikey Kluska.
And now a big at-bat for Mikey Kluska. Jake Goolsby would follow. In the 2 games so far for Hess, he has struck out 3, pitched 2 innings, allowed just 1 hit, only faced 6 batters, rolled a double play. Big swing and a miss on a first pitch fastball to Kluska. 5-2 Lakeshore lead. Top of the 8th inning from Kapco Park here in Mequon. 2 runners on board. Tying run at the plate, Mikey Kluska for the Mallards. His most power came this season at Richmond. On 0-1, check to swing outside corner on a curveball. Did not go. Heading over towards third on a delayed steal is Chatterton. He'll be in there sliding safe. So for Lakeshore, not much really changes. You've just got to attack the batter at the plate. In a 1-1 count with Kluska, he waves out the bat 2-3 times towards Hess. Set at the belt, delivers home. A little flare towards second base. Right at the second baseman Overbeek. He'll make the catch, and that'll put away the side. 2 Mallards stranded here in the top of the 8th inning. 5-2 lead for Lakeshore when we return on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. 5-2 lead for Lakeshore here from Kapco Park in Mequon. A chance for Lakeshore to add on some potential insurance prior to the top of the 9th inning. And they'll have to do it against a new pitcher for the Mallards. Cole Heath makes his debut. 6'3" redshirt sophomore from Western Kentucky, native of Hendersonville, Tennessee. First pitch fastball, a perfect pitch. Called for a strike to Andy Nelson, who was at the plate. In the bottom of the 7th inning concluded. Pick-off move from Canyon Brown, the catcher, back to second base, which nabbed off Overbeek. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball, 0-2 with Nelson. Nelson Gregorio Robluski. Into the motion on 0-2. Just below the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes with Iowa's Nelson. Into the motion, Heath pitches, and a breaking ball is slapped towards short. Kluska ranging to his left to throw over to first base. That's in time to catch Nelson. A good-looking first 4 pitches from Cole Heath here in his debut. Heath is the 4th pitcher now for the Mallards. Argento pitched 2 innings in relief of Peterson, who did not record an out, swing and a miss off the bat of Gregorio. Nick walked 2, allowed 1 unearned run, allowed 1 hit, did not strike out anybody. Second pitch to Gregorio is a fastball that bounces into Canyon Brown. The Mallards in the top of the 8th inning put 2 runners on base with 1 out. Singles from Chatterton and Owen Jackson, and then a fly out of Isaiah Jackson and a pop out of Kluska. End of the inning. Here's a swing and a line drive deep into center field, but Isaiah Jackson tracks it back, catches it on a 180 stance. And there are two away. Gregorio flies out into center. And now Luke Robleski. Lakeshore uses their first time out. They used two of them yesterday. Trevor Cho in his first year as the Lakeshore skipper. Conversation with Robleski, who is now in center field for the Chinooks. Began the game in right. Singled and scored as the first run of the ball game back in the third inning. First pitch to him is a fastball right over the middle of the plate from Cole Heath. Into his motion quickly on the 0-1 pitch as a curveball that's flared into right field right at Dickerson. He will make the catch, and that'll do it for the Chinook bottom of the 8th inning. 1-2-3, good stuff from Cole Heath. Mallards trailing by 3, 5-2, their last offensive chance coming up next on your home of Madison Mallards baseball. Bottom third of the order for the Mallards against DJ Hess. Last opportunity here at the top of the 9th inning. Jake Goolsby digs in. First pitch from Hess on the ground towards the right side. Tough play for the second baseman, Overbeek, and it'll fly into right field. It's a leadoff single for Jake Goolsby. And what the Mallards needed was their leadoff man on. So here comes Canyon Brown. And rightfully so, Goolsby given a single would have been a really tough play for Overbeek to make. Ranging to his left, sliding, and not being able to make the play. First pitch breaking ball is blocked nicely by Gregorio. In a 5-2 ball game, Chinooks leading, top of the 9th inning from Kapco Park. Lakeshore looking for this 2-game sweep of the Mallards. The 1-ball pitch to Canyon Brown is a breaking ball low and in. DJ Hess got into some trouble in the top of the 8th inning. A pop out of Taylor. And back-to-back singles by Chatterton and Owen Jackson. 2-1, right down Broadway for strike one. 2 balls and a strike against Canyon Brown. And then a fly out of Isaiah Jackson and a pop out of Mikey Kluska ended the threat in the top of the 8th inning. Jake Goolsby has singled to lead it off here, trailing by 3. On 2-1, Brown waits and does not swing at the 2-1 pitch to make it 2-2 on a breaking ball into the zone. Two balls, 2 strikes, nobody away. Top of the 9th inning, Canyon has got to defend here on the pitch. A line drive to the right side. That's going to get through. Jake Goolsby will head into second. Canyon Brown into first base. And the Mallards threatening here in the away 9th inning. Good piece of hitting from Canyon Brown, the Mallards catcher. Hit number 5 on the season. And here comes Corbin Dickerson for the Mallards. Pitching coach Jake Carlson to the mound for Lakeshore. Mallards last season, when trailing after the 7th inning, only came back one time through 72 ball games, and they lost that game late in the season to Wisconsin Rapids. The Mallards just simply were not a good team when playing from behind a season ago, and they haven't really had an opportunity here so far through 5 games, this one being the 6th. And they have runners on first and second base with nobody out in the top of the 9th inning. Corbin Dickerson, who has been on base all 3 times today, coming up to the plate. The Louisville Cardinal reached on an error in the 3rd inning, singled in the 5th, and doubled in the 7th inning. First pitch to Dickerson, swinging on the ground towards short. Should be a double play. Mizikowski to second, Overbeek over to Kelly at first base. That's in time to get Dickerson a 6-4-3 double play. Picks 2 Mallards off the base paths, and they are down to their final out. So Jack Tucker, the potential final Mallard, in the way of DJ Hess and the Chinooks. First pitch to Tucker is popped up down the right field side and out of play. 7-3 final a night ago. Lakeshore leads 5-2. Looking for a 2-game sweep of Madison. DJ Hess comes set, right at the belt on 0-1. Breaking ball down the third base line. Fielded cleanly by Gullert on a backhand. The throw to first is there to beat Tucker, and Lakeshore sweeps Madison at Kapco Park. Madison did not get much help from the umpiring crew tonight. The coaches will shake hands behind home plates. And in the first 2 matchups of the season, Lakeshore takes both of them. Final scores of 7-3 and then 5-2 here in Mequon. Mallards right fielder Corbin Dickerson put together a good performance of a single and a double. He reached on an error in the 3rd inning, bounced into a double play in the top of the 9th. And the frustration for the Mallards continues to build up as they've got a good ball club at Warner Park. Just the errors and the walks and the hit by pitch needs to be cleaned up. It's all pretty much defensive miscues, and then still not able to score runs in bunches has hurt this team early on in the season. The Mallards drop down to 3-3, and the Chinooks improve to 3-3. Those 2 teams now tied in the Great Lakes West standings. The winning pitcher today is Reese for the Chinooks, and Will Peterson, who was unable to complete 1 inning and record 1 out for the Mallards, gets the loss. He is now 0-1 after not recording an out, allowing 1 hit, 3 earned runs, walking 2, hitting 1, and throwing 24 pitches. Good performance by Tommy Meyer as the Mallard starter today. 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, and 5 strikeouts. The Mallards for the second consecutive game in Lakeshore. They led late, and then a couple of runs came across the score. Tonight it was in the 6th inning with 3. Then Lakeshore added 1 more in the 7th. In yesterday's game, Lakeshore scored 5 in the bottom of the 7th inning to win that ball game. Final score one more time here today. Lakeshore 5, Madison 2. As the Mallards continue on in their 6-game road trip. 2 more against Wisconsin Rapids, and then 1 against the Kenosha Kingfish before returning home finally on Wednesday for a date with Kenosha, their rival on the north side of Madison. Signing off tonight here from Mequon, Wisconsin, my name's Zach Linfield. Good talking to everybody, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow against the Wisconsin Rapids Raptors on your home of Madison Mallards baseball.